Hi, I'm Tammy, and this is Tammy's Ordinary Life, and today is story time. So, this was back when I was like 28 or 29, so I'm 53, so you can do the math. Hopefully, you guys can do the math now. I was picking up my son from school. He was in like 3rd or 4th grade, and every day after school, I always took him to get an after school treat. And so I was driving on the way to getting him his after school treat, and we had to stop at a stoplight. And I'm in the right lane, which in the United States is the correct lane to be in. And I wasn't really paying attention to who was in the left lane. And I was also the first one at the light. So, when the light turned green, I went, and right afterwards, I heard a horrible crashing sound. And my son turned to look and says, "Oh my gosh, Mom, the deputy sheriff just ran over that little old lady that was in front beside us." She was in front of him, and he got distracted. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that could have been me. I could have been the little old lady that got ran over by the deputy sheriff. I mean, I've had some really strange things happen to me, so why not? So I go off, and as we're in the drive-thru at the place to get his after-school snack, I'm feeling really bad. I'm like, wow. Because we had heard ambulances go, and I'm like, oh wow. It's on the way home anyway, and as we were driving through to see where she got hit, she was being loaded up in an ambulance. I felt so horrible. I was like, that could have been me. So I take my son and I drop him off at home so I can go visit my cousin. And as I'm pulling in her driveway, this had taken some time between dropping him off and going to her house. We don't all live in town like some of you do. And as I'm pulling in her driveway, I happen to notice the cousin's husband talking to his neighbor, which happened to be a deputy sheriff. I didn't know he was the deputy sheriff. And I pull in and I get out and I hear him say to my cousin, "Oh my God, that's her." And I was so embarrassed because I didn't know what he was talking about. And I go in, and then he comes in and he says, he got distracted looking at you, that when you took off, he took off and hit the little old lady. Now, I don't know what he told his boss, but I felt so bad. But at the same time, I'm like, most people don't know this about me, because, well, I only have a small circle of people, but I actually don't think I look like the cat's meow. I don't think I'm all that. I actually have always thought I'm just a plain Jane. So actually, when that happened, it's just like, why? Because he had never seen somebody so like me. I mean, really? And it turns out, of course, it was never seen anybody like me in the good way, but I'm still, even now, still not used to it, even though my husband always calls me pretty and beautiful and everything all day, every day when he sees me in and around me and texts me. I still can't get used to it. Anyway, just thought I would share a little story time. It was so long ago, but it was so... My hubby and I were talking about that the other day, like, have you done a video yet about that? I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I have not. And so now you guys have heard the story about how I made a deputy sheriff run into a little old lady while he was looking at me instead of paying attention. Oddly enough, I mean, he's the law. I don't know really how he got out of that one. But anyway, I hope you like this. I hope you subscribe. Those both help me out. And I hope you follow me at Tammy Keith 710 on Instagram. It's all in the description box. And I'll see you next time. Bye.